Welcome back. Another episode of Todd's House of Speed. And I'm Todd. This is my dog Noah. He's my helper. And this is where we knock the ugly off the outside and get the slow out of the inside. So this is today's episode is about my rat rod truck project. I have several projects in flux right now. And this first series is going to involve this project and the engine build. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what's going on here. So this is a 1956 Chevy long bed, and nobody ever does a long bed because they tend to be ugly, but that's exactly why I did it. Now, I can't take necessarily all of the credit for the first part of this build. This truck was built by a guy in Minnesota. I think his name was Troy Mitchell. I believe that's who initially built it, and what he did was he was the one that saved the body, and he had a 76 Suburban half-ton frame with a big block Chevrolet in it from the factory. And so he's really the one that did the initial marriage of the two. So I want to make sure I credit him because his welding and his fabrication skills were awesome. So once I got it though, what I wanted to do with it, and I've had it for several years, is I want to do a pro tour. So as good as the work was, it wasn't a very good driver, and it was lacking some performance, well, big time as far as I'm concerned. And it wasn't exactly quite, but it was a blank slate for me to start. So the first thing I want to say is the truck has been channeled. So Troy did that, and you can see right here, roughly about 4 inches. So the people that don't know what channeling is, when you channel the body, you're basically raising the floor to lower the body over the frame while all the suspension and everything is at the same geometry. So this has been raised, the floor has been raised 4 inches to set the body over the frame. That way everything is tucked up underneath. So it's a long bed, as I say. Some people might miss it because it's sitting so low. The thing is, it makes it, when that thing is sitting outside on the ground, it just looks crazy cool. The other part of this was, since the foundation, the work was already started, I stripped the whole thing down and I wanted to do it my way. I've never built a rat rod. I've restored muscle cars, built custom motorcycles, drag cars. I've even restored a cabin cruiser boat, but I'd not done a rat rod. So before I die, I wanted to do one. So I started with this great foundation that Troy did originally, and it was actually in the first issue of Rat Rod magazine, both the cover and the centerfold in its former life. So what I did is, what it has now is I do all my own work. I narrowed the rear. It's got the factory 12 bolt, truck 12 bolt in it. It's got a set of soft leaf springs, soft rate, only like 700 pound, I think is the rating on it, by SD Springs out of Florida. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to ride like more car-like and less truck-like, some give. It's got a Caltrack suspension set up, and and we'll do some adjustment on that, and that'll be a different episode upcoming. I'll explain what a Caltrack set is with, in conjunction with the leaf springs. It's got Impala Super Sport, late model Impala Super Sport, disc brakes conversion on the rear, Bilstein shocks, Adco sway bar. The front, the suspension, the whole front subframe has been narrowed, so that way when it's lowered, and you can see it's sitting pretty, it's on its own weight right now, but the engine's not in it, so it's going to probably go down about another inch and a half with the weight of the engine in it. But the idea is with the narrowed front end, you can have that thing really sitting down cool, but you still have full turning radius. Part of if you see the pipes sticking out, these are actually semi-truck pipes that I cut. That is the real exhaust. Now, right now, I've got the engine out of it, so normally the pipe would be straight and turned correctly, but I've just got the exhaust hanging. Chip foose wheels, 20 by 10s in the back, 18 by 8s in the front. And one of the things, actually, I think two things that are really, there's a lot of things really cool about this, but one thing that you never see on a farm truck is the rear bumper and the front bumper, and maybe 3 things, and the tailgate. Because any farm truck, I'm gonna tell you, those are the first things to go are the bumpers. They get ripped off, torn off, tailgate gets discarded, and it's all still here. There's no airbags, that's a static ride height. So out on, when it's sitting the weight on it, we're about a little over 4 inches off the ground, which sounds like it's really low. Well, it is low, but everything up is up and out of the way. It's only the outside of the body that's low. So this thing sits about what a modern Corvette does. There's no air ride. It's just the right set of springs at the ride height, and everything is up and tucked away because the whole body is channeled over. This was a sign that I made up as far as it says fast produce hauling, the Plains, Virginia. I grew up outside there. And this is like a remnants of a barn. I had a guy paint this for me in the traditional style of what this would have been done in the 50s. And then I wet sand it to age it. Open up the door. So all the inside of this thing has been done. It's all redone. I did all of the work except for the final paint job. And I have to credit my boy at MBC Customs, Matt Bobst. He made my work look fantastic. So you can see these are the original colors. It has factory tinted glass. It has all new seals, all new rubber. It actually has power windows. So even though this looks like a crank, it's connected to a switch. So you push it down, the window goes down. You lift up, the window goes up. So it still has the stock appearance. All the mechanism for the vent windows has all been redone. There was a lot of work on the dash. I think the Tri-5 Chevys, both the truck and the cars, are beautiful. I didn't want to change any of it. There was a lot of holes and there was a big dent in the top of the dash. I fixed all that, did a lot of body work. That shifter, that's an automatic shifter. That actually, the lever is off a Farmall tractor, and it's the torque amplifier lever that I shortened. So it's actually connected to a ratchet shifter. Coming into the engine bay right now is, the whole idea is the outside of the truck is original looking, but when you open up the hood or open up the door, man, it just like pops. It looks really good, and that's what I like. So the firewall, I redid the firewall. I painted it myself. That's a factory color. That's what it was supposed to look like. I can't take credit for the metal work. That Troy Mitchell did that initially, did fantastic. So this firewall from here down is all custom where the engine is set back. It's got a turbo 400 in it with a pretty hard shift kit. It's got a 373 rear, this positive traction, and I've got a big block Chevrolet 454 engine that I'm just getting ready to start on the build, and we're going to be covering that in future episodes. I'm going to be covering machine work and pistons. I'm still waiting on pistons, by the way, since December. Go figure. Four-wheel disc brakes. If you see, it actually has, this has a Thunderbird rack and pinion system, which is a little bit heavier duty than a Pinto because this thing is like 3,800 pounds. Same dimensions almost, but just for a tip, if you're going to put something like that in, use the Thunderbird one. Other than that, we've just got everything prepped, ready to go, and we've got new brakes all the way around. Everything, every nut and bolt has been touched on this, and I'm just at the point where, and I'm getting ready to build the engine. And so that's going to be in future episodes, and I hope you like it. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what's going on because I've got a lot of content coming up, and I hope that you all like it. I hope you like this truck. It's a lot of me in it, I can tell you.